Guten Tag. Today we are making some coffee. Well, brewing some coffee. Not actually making it, that's quite hard. But today we're brewing some coffee and we're going to give two different methods a try and with this coffee and see what we're feeling. And also I'll talk to you about my coffee journey and just coffee in general. I don't know that much because I'm sure there are other people that know more, but I know a little bit, so I can at least tell you that. So let's get into the video. So today I'm going to make both a cafetiere, which is very accessible for all of you, and also a V60, which is equally accessible for all of you. And I've already, as shown, grinded my coffee. Give it a smell. Listen, we can just have it raw. Well, why don't we just do that? Have it raw. Anyway, so it's time to make. So first we're going to make a V60. So I've got my V60. I'm going to pour straight into my Mr. Cool mug because obviously I'm Mr. Cool. So what I've done is I've ground 10 grams roughly about coffee, and I've got my scales here. So let's start making some. And so first you want to sort of bloom the coffee, which is just slowly pour in and then stop for probably about 45 seconds. And then just settle down, have a little, let that do its work, and then boom, 45 seconds are gone. This is a technique that I follow, which is sort of from James Hoffman. He's a pretty prolific. I think he won World Barista Championships a while ago, so what can I say? That'll be me in 5 years. And even if you don't like coffee, just having the smell is all you need. So let that do its work, and then the final pour. I'm only using 10 grams, so because I don't want to over caffeinate myself. Yep. And a scale helps to recreate. The reason why I'm using a scale is so that I can recreate a method and do it again and again. I'm just stirring it because that's what all the good ones do. So I'm going to let that draw down. And now I've got a trusty cafetiere or French press, whatever you call it. And this is how you get into coffee. Literally, so this was actually, I used to use this in school. And yeah, so this has been with me for a while, and you can't go wrong. You have a lot more sort of body, and sort of the taste is more prolonged with a cafetiere compared to a V60. However, you have the flavors aren't quite as clean, and it's sort of more, 10 grams of coffee, so only 150 mils. So don't over caffeinate myself. So I'm just going to slowly. There we go. Just a little bit more. And yeah, so there we go. That's the water you've done. Don't need the scales anymore. And so for the cafetiere, you want to wait probably around 4 minutes. Then give it a little stir, and then Bob's your uncle. Well, wait another 4 minutes after that as well. And then you can sit down and enjoy the coffee. So obviously my coffee journey started with a cafetiere. However, and that was perfectly fine. I used it for like 4 years or so, and then it got to my lockdown birthday, and my brother got me a nice coffee subscription, which was extremely good, and I love him for it. However, I do also hate him for the fact that obviously it's lockdown, I've got nothing else to do, and so I then just started getting into coffee. I bought sort of a cheap hand grinder, and yeah, I then started asking to order beans rather than pre-ground coffee, and the rest is history, as they say. Just give it a year and I'll have an espresso machine, and the shocking thing is I can't wait for that. But this is not really how I planned my coffee journey to be as well. So when I originally I was always aware that a French press cafetiere was perfectly fine and was used throughout the world. However, lockdown has caused me to get in this ridiculous rabbit hole, which is coffee. And the annoying thing is I very much love this rabbit hole. So yeah, I actually went to a coffee festival sort of a couple of weeks ago, and once you start enjoying coffee and you go to a coffee festival, it just gets even better. And I did have way too much coffee and was definitely overdosed on caffeine, but it was still an incredible experience. And if you're into coffee, you should go to them because it's pretty cool. And I've got lots of freebies as well, so what can't you like? Yeah, so I'm going to give the cafetiere a stir. Normally the technique I follow sort of takes the large pieces out, however I don't because I'm lazy. And then just leave it to sit on the top of it and chill. And now we have 2 coffees, cafetiere, and I'll give them a little taste. I've got my cupping spoon. So obviously I mentioned about beans. However, I used to be a pre-ground boy back in the day. This is the Taylors of Harrogate, all the classics. And until obviously lockdown caused me to rethink my decisions regarding coffee, and it is quite amazing how sort of the supermarket supply chain works, because a lot of the time the coffee that you find in sort of the bags was ground sort of 6 months before, roasted 12 months before, and it's quite just you think, oh, everything's gonna be fresh on the shelves. However, it's a complex world, this but yeah, let's taste some coffee. So I'm gonna pour my cafetiere into the. Unfortunately, this is John's mug I'm using, but you see, you don't technically need to plunge the cafetiere. Well, I don't anyway, but I don't tend to have cafetieres that often anymore. I'm normally a Chemex boy, which is very similar to Chemex is very similar to a V60, but it's got the iconic shape like here, and this is not really going to be that much of a tasting because firstly I've had these coffees before, so I know what they taste like, and also they're 2 different methods and the same coffee. So and the only reason I have one of these is because in order to get free delivery on my Chemex I needed to buy. It was worth it to get a £2 spoon, so I did. So now this is my coffee spoon. It is a lot more noticeable once you get into the world of coffee. For example, you'd think, oh, coffee's coffee, the brewing method would be the same, but it is quite a stark difference. And once someone opens your eyes to the difference, it's like you're falling down forever. And I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy it. So piss off those people who think I'm pretentious. I mean, it's just a nice coffee, and it's not too bitter. I quite enjoy a little bit of bitterness in my coffee, so I maybe could have ground a little bit finer so that it's sort of a bit smoother. But it's very, given it's I've got a relatively cheap hand grinder and it's doing the job. So, and I mean, I just quite enjoy coffee. Yes. I definitely just could sit here and drink a whole massive Chemex of 1 litre. But life's got to be getting on with, so anyway, shout out to Milk Shed for the coffee, because it's nice. It's meant to get dark chocolate, toasted nuts and vanilla, and I'm getting that sort of dark chocolate and toasted nuts, so the vanilla is a lot harder to find, I'm finding. But yeah, it's this is where I got the coffee at the London Coffee Festival, and yeah, it's served me well so far. So, and I actually got this shirt as well from the coffee festival. So, shout out to 100 House Coffee, because they have some very interesting coffee, and I love it. So, call to actions for you is firstly, for those people who have instant, just give a cafetiere or a V60 a try with pre-ground coffee, because it will be a lot nicer than that bitter, awful trash that Nescafe produce. And secondly, just see where the coffee tastes you as well, and buy different coffees, because that's how you'll be able to distinguish more sort of between 2 different coffees. And that's often the best way you learn, is by trying something shit or something you don't like, and then trying something that you do like. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Arrivederci. Au revoir. Boo. Stay caffeinated.